People, I'm actually really pissed off. She never came to me one time to say, how are you feeling? And it's after this, me and Bbnaija went on this back and forth. I saw Baye. I was standing upstairs in the HOH. I heard Bbnaija saying, you know, she wants to steal your man. She wants to take your man. Big brother, I felt very, very, very disrespected that she even entertained that conversation. She finished the conversation. I asked her, what was Bbnaija telling you? This girl lied to my face. Bbnaija was actually telling her that they were supposed to her, and I came and I switched everything to myself. That wasn't what happened.
Guys, at this point, I feel like I've literally exhausted all the tears in my eyes, courtesy of Doyin's diary session. Guys, it was so emotionally draining. It was so, oh my God, it was so emotional. Guys, I found myself shedding tears with Doyin. And you know the painful part? I could totally relate with everything that she had said. I could relate with how she felt. I could relate with how she was feeling, guys. I could relate with everything 100%. Yes, because I've been there in her shoes before. However, that voice in my head could not just be silenced about the fact that, Doyin, this is a game. What do you expect? You cannot get pure, undiluted loyalty in a game that involves such a huge amount of money. 120 million naira cash is not beans. 120 million naira cash is not sand, it's not water, it's not something you go around and you can pick it up at any time that you like. It is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So Doyin, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Giving your full self, your complete loyalty to a young girl that still does not really understand the concept of friendship, the concept of loyalty in this game. Guys. Woo! As I said, I almost exhausted all the tears in my eyes. Yes, I did. And you see, yeah, I was really pained. And I really appreciated the role Big Brother played in that conversation. I loved the fact that, you know, in the midst of all of that purgation of emotion, Biggie allowed her to speak freely. Guys, Doyin's diary session lasted for over an hour. Yeah, over an hour. So Biggie allowed her to really purgate her emotions, you know, let it all out. But whilst doing that, he also asked her some very valid questions, you know, that should help her, you know, reflect on her actions. And I hope she really got that message, because she was quite emotional. She was quite emotional, passionately, you know, expressing herself. But I really do hope that she got Biggie's message. Now, for those of you that missed out on that diary session, don't worry, I've got you covered. I would share the details on this video, all right? And for those of you that caught up with that diary session, I would love to know your thoughts about everything that Doyin had said. I would love to know how, you know, how you felt, you know, watching her express her emotions like that, all right? And yeah, quick reminder, guys, today by 7 p.m. WAT, we're going to be having our live stream. Guys, there's a lot to talk about. I cannot overemphasize on that. We need to have a conversation. So please, this is a special invite to every single one of you. Please come out en masse. Make sure you come through. I would love to rub minds with you on all that's been happening in Big Brother's house. All right? And yeah, you are all specially welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the T. For those of you that are newly subscribed, welcome to the community. Welcome to this tribe. Thank you so much for choosing to become a part of us. And for those of you that are yet to subscribe, please go ahead, do exactly what you see on your screen, all right? Subscriptions are absolutely free, so please go ahead and subscribe, and also like this video. I've always told you all that liking this video sort of encourages me that you enjoy my content, that you enjoy my analysis. So please like this video, all right? Thank you very much, and also feel free to share. All right, all of that said, let's quickly get into it. Did two videos yesterday. One explaining the friendship dynamics between Doyin and CEECEE, and then another one explaining the current situation between Doyin and Ilebaye. Now guys, between Doyin and Ilebaye, we know that this is not the first time that they are having, you know, a rift between them. We are fully aware that one of those issues that still stands between their friendship is the issue of cross, guys. I told you all on that video that I think on Saturday or Sunday, on Sunday, Bbnaija had a conversation with Ilebaye and had really manipulated her into believing that Doyin wants to snatch Cross away from her, that Doyin likes Cross and is only deceiving her, to push her mind away from Cross so as to take Cross. Besides Cross, Bbnaija had equally twisted the story about what exactly had happened with regards to last week's pardon me please process of how Doyin had actually won the immunity for the week. Guys, Bbnaija had actually lied to Ilebaye about how everything happened, and that had automatically altered Ilebaye's already flawed perception of Doyin. Now guys, the issue standing between them is that Ilebaye feels like Doyin had actually betrayed her, that Doyin had been using her in the house to play her game. Now, Doyin, on the other hand, is quite upset that how can people that I have been fighting against to defend your honor, to defend you, to stand up for you, how can they have so much power over your perception of me? Which is actually a valid point, guys, because if you think about it, Ilebaye has proven herself to be very, very fickle-minded, very, very gullible, just like Cross. Because guys, Doyin asked very valid questions. And for me, it could be of two things. It could either be that Ilebaye is fully aware of the situation and is just playing along and using the strategy of, sentiments, the strategy of emotions, to get at people around her, which was a typical example of what she had done, I mean, she clearly saw on that video that Big Brother had played where a.k.a. was vandalizing her properties. She had clearly seen that Bbnaija and CEECEE were witnesses and they had done nothing to stop a.k.a. or even condemn the act, and they had walked away, and the next day they had pretended like they knew nothing about the whole incident. Yes, so she was fully aware, but she had gone ahead to go have a conversation with Bbnaija, all in the name of she was trying to talk to Bbnaija to stop insulting Doyin, which initially was actually right, but then there were other things that Bbnaija had actually spilled to her in that conversation, and she had not really given any reaction whatsoever. But the fact that she had actually omitted those things to Doyin when Doyin had actually asked her about it, guys, that was a problem. That was a problem for Doyin. And then yesterday we had seen her having conversations with Angel where she was, lamenting that Doyin had betrayed her. And the way she had, stated her case, it had come off in a very, very pity form that anybody that listened to her would have automatically believed that, oh my God, Doyin really betrayed this girl. Doyin has really been a terrible friend to this girl. So Doyin had been very, very upset since I think the past 2 days now, and she had even confronted Ilebaye over the whole Bbnaija situation, and Ilebaye had denied everything and had said that she only spoke to Bbnaija because she wanted Bbnaija to stop insulting her, but there were other things that were said that she had not disclosed to Doyin. So Doyin had gone ahead to narrate her own side of the story to Big Brother. Guys, there's no need going into all of that. We've already had several discussions about that already on this channel. So she went ahead, she explained all of that to Biggie. But then I love what Big Brother did. Doyin was kind of mixing up the story. She wasn't particularly lying, but she was sort of mixing up, let me say, the progression of the events of how they deliberated and how she lobbied her way into winning the immunity for last week. Now, Big Brother was reminding her of the things that she said, that Fraud said, that Angel said. And Big Brother also reminded her of how she was aware that there were only two names that was mentioned in that conversation. There was Ilebaye's name and there was one other person's name. But she had outrightly stated that she wanted the immunity rather than giving it to Ilebaye. Now, Big Brother pointed it out to her that even though she claimed that she had actually shared that same conversation to Ilebaye, she shouldn't have omitted any information. She should have given Ilebaye all the details, as a good friend should do. Because Doyin kept on standing on her defense that she had actually told Ilebaye everything. But Biggie kept on, reiterating that Doyin, Big Brother says, and here's everything. You did not. That she should have giving Ilebaye all the details so that if Ilebaye were to hear it from someone else, she wouldn't have been so triggered. She wouldn't have been so shocked about everything. And so what Bbnaija had said to Ilebaye, Bbnaija had, filled in those details that Doyin omitted and equally lied and, spiced up the whole story to make it look like Doyin had literally fought other people against giving Ilebaye the immunity for last week. But you know, typical Doyin, she was quite emotional, you know, whilst that conversation was happening. At some point, she was using a lot of curse words, you know, colorful language. Biggie had to constantly, you know, remind her to mind her language. Sometimes she was raising her voice, she was crying. Guys, it was an emotional roller coaster with Doyin, and I could really feel her pain. I could connect with where she was coming from. And you know, I loved the fact that even though Big Brother was trying to set her on the right path, even though Big Brother was trying to make her see reasons why Ilebaye doubted their friendship this week, Big Brother also consoled her, you know, gave her some words of affirmations, right? Letting her know that indeed she's a good friend. Big Brother has seen how she has, you know, on countless number of occasions stood up for Ilebaye, and there was absolutely nothing wrong in that, you know. But then in the midst of all of that emotional roller coaster, I was really grateful for a question Biggie had posed to Doyin. Now, I'm not quoting Biggie verbatim, just paraphrasing, right? Now, Big Brother had asked her about what inspires her to, you know, get into friendships that never really favor her in the end. And guys, Big Brother was literally referring to the same sort of friendship she had during the level up season. Guys, that was a mess, and now she's having an even worse experience, you know, in this season. And oh my god, Doyin had said that she just likes standing up for people, that there's just something within her that does not like seeing people getting picked on. She doesn't like it when people are bullied. And for every time it happens, you know, she feels obliged to defend those people, that she understands that it's a game. That if it's in the real world, she would literally allow Ilebaye to do whatever she wants to do. But even though it wasn't Ilebaye, if it was someone else, she would equally be doing what she was doing. Now, when Doyin responded to that question, guys, I'm going to be frank with all of you, I did not entirely believe her. Because guys, I know that this is a game, and surely Doyin cannot tell us that she packed all her boxes, all her makeup, all her amazing beautiful wigs, all her beautiful outfits to come into Big Brother's house, to come and stand as an advocate for someone that is getting bullied. Guys, we know, I mean, we're more exposed than that. We are more woke than that, you know. So when she answered that question that way, I mean, I guess because of how much tears she had shed, Biggie had allowed it slide. Because trust Biggie of this season, Big Brother would definitely have probed further. But then she had gone ahead to respond to that question. And regardless, guys, I'm going to say what I have said before on this channel. That regardless of if Doyin is playing a game, you know, via her friendship with Ilebaye, regardless of if it is a strategy, you know, to make an impression of herself, that okay, this girl is a fighter, this girl is a defender for the weak, for the vulnerable, guys, she's actually doing what should be done. Because even though Ilebaye is very gullible and fickle-minded, as I have said, I mean, Ilebaye from time to time needs somebody to speak up for her, because sometimes you agree with me that most of the things that have happened in the house are not Ilebaye's fault. There are the ones that are definitely her fault, but then there are others that are not her fault. And somebody needs to stand up for her where there's a gang up. And we've seen that gang up happen several times and over again in the house. For Ilebaye, I totally agree with how Doyin had described her. That she knows what she's doing. She's playing on people's emotions. Whenever they have issues, Ilebaye will go ahead and talk about those issues with other people, other than coming to address those issues with her. Whenever people are saying trash about Doyin, Ilebaye would rather keep quiet and say it's not her business instead of standing up for Doyin. But then when people say things about her, she'll come and report to Doyin, knowing fully well that Doyin will go and talk to those people on her behalf. So guys, Doyin was actually right. That is pure emotional manipulation that Ilebaye is playing. And PERE fished her out on time. Hence the reason he decided to start treating her as a competitor rather than a daughter, as they would normally joke around with. Am I mad at Ilebaye's game? Absolutely not. I mean, it only goes to show that she's very smart, but equally gullible and fickle-minded. Whether she's doing it deliberately or not, for her to be able to get into people's feelings like that, then that's very powerful coming from a young girl. That is very, very powerful. And I feel like in a way she's recognized that power. Same thing she did to Tolani Badge yesterday by allowing you to hug her, guys. I feel like she's recognized that power that she has, and she's playing into her role, you know, beautifully and snakily. And I'm glad that Doyin said that she now understands what's going on and she's not going to speak to Ilebaye anymore in that house. She's going to give Ilebaye her space. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I know that Doyin is not going to keep to her words. She won't. Why? Because her game is heavily tied to Ilebaye in that house. Her game, a strategy, is heavily tied to Ilebaye's misbehaviors in that house, to Ilebaye's what's it called now, beefs with people in that house. But I'm going to give her that benefit of doubt. I'm going to wait it out and see if she's going to stick to her word. But ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead, let me know what you think about all of Doyin's submissions to Big Brother last night in the diary room. Go ahead and share in the comment section below, and I will see you guys on another video soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.